What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be making our best budget squad that you guys can run right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, this squad that I'm going to be talking about today probably is about 50,000 MT total. And so it's one of these things that it is super hard to make. However, I think it's super important to make this video for you guys because right now, I feel like the accessibility within the MyTEAM mode isn't necessarily great. I feel like a lot of people don't even think that they can get into the mode because all the cards are super expensive. However, these are some of my favorite budget guys that hopefully can help you guys get a jump start to your specific squad. A lot of these guys aren't necessarily the best, but at the end of the day, they're guys that can compete for you guys and help you just kind of build your squad up. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and if you're new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button. One of the more expensive cards that we're talking about today is Sasha Vucevic. And for me, he's a 6'7" point guard. Defensively isn't great. You're going to have to, if you want to make him even better, apply some badges. But he's 6'7", can play lanes, can knock down shots. He's not necessarily a primary ball handler, but he's still a 6'7" point guard that can compete. For 10,000 coins, I don't mind Sasha Vucevic whatsoever. I'd be lying to say I've used the card in-game because I haven't. I don't want to spend 10,000 MT if I don't have to, if he's not going to be useful for me. But the card looks solid enough to play. He's not bad whatsoever, and definitely a card that if you want to pick up, he can compete at a decently high level. Shooting guard position, I've been really high on this card for quite a while. It is Marquise Daniels. From his defense to his offense, this card is a very complete shooting guard in this game right now. And I feel like for 1,000 coins, you're not finding a better card than Marquise Daniels. And I've hyped this card up for a while now, and I'm going to stay doing it because you look at all the cards on this list, and even you could play Marquise at small forward if you have some shooting guards that can play. But he is one of the best players on this entire team. And he has 2,000 coins. And it just doesn't really add up. I think there's just a lot of him out there, and that is why the card is relatively cheap. But for me, he is 110% worth the price he is going for right now. Now, whether you want to pick him up or not is totally up to you. But if you're trying to build a budget squad and it doesn't include Marquise Daniels, I don't know what you're doing. At the small forward position, 3-and-D type player, we're plugging in Jarvis Hayes. Now, the one thing I don't love about Jarvis Hayes is his speed. He's only got 79 speed. However, he's got some shooting ability. He's gonna knock down shots, and he's cheap. And so right now, if somebody is cheap and is able to knock down some shots, I'm going to hype them up decently, and that's exactly what Jarvis Hayes provides for you guys on the court. Kind of a 3-and-D option, less D, more 3 for Jarvis Hayes, but he can play. He can absolutely play. 2 poetry and motion cards that are super, super cheap are added into the squad. I'm not necessarily super high on Jarvis Hayes compared to Daniels, but he can get the job done. Power forward position, another decently expensive card. His price has gone up. It's went down. It's Pervis Ellison. Still to this day, I think Pervis Ellison is as good, if not better, than a Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who is way more expensive. I think Pervis, as long as you can green with his shot, which you should, his 3-ball I think is like a 58, which seems really low. But with his release, I think you're going to be surprised on how much he greens with it. And because of that, I think Pervis Ellison is super complete. His defensive stats are all like in the mid-80s. This card should not be a Sapphire in this game. He should be at minimum a Ruby. Last time I checked Pervis, he was like 10,000 to 15,000 coins because he's so rare. People that get Pervis don't ever want to sell the card back. He is that good, that complete. He is a must-have on any budget-ish squad in this game. At the center position, I don't know who to plug in, man. The center position to me is so thin. I'm going to plug in Strowman Swift, but I got to say, I'm not that high on Strowman Swift. The card cannot shoot the ball at all. And that's a red flag. Now, defensively, Strowman Swift's going to be solid. And so that's kind of the thing. You got to pick and choose when you're talking about the budget cards because we really don't have that many good budget bigs in the entire game. And by budget, I mean like less than 10,000 coins. Sure, if you want to spend up, you can get some better options. But if you're balling on a budget, it is tough. I'm plugging in Strowman Swift because guess what? If a card can compete defensively, that matters more for budget cards than how good they are offensively. Because if you're just giving it up to, some of the best bigs in the game, I don't care. Like Andrea Bargnani is just an example I'm going to use. Yes, he's got a 3-ball, but his defense is horrible. And so is he going to be more useful to have on the court than a guy like Strowman Swift? Absolutely not. So that's kind of where I'm at with Strowman Swift. I don't necessarily think the card's perfect. I don't necessarily think, especially offensively, he's good whatsoever. But at the end of the day, you can use Strowman Swift. You can trust him to get the occasional stop, and his speed is good as well. He's a complete inside big for being a Ruby. And for me, that's all I can really ask. Headed to the bench unit. At the bench point guard position, we're plugging in another Emerald card. Now, I looked at this card twice today, and I'm like, you know what? I like him enough. It is Emerald Derek White. Now, 83 speed, solid defense. I think he's only got a 79 base 3-ball is what I saw. But the big thing for me with Derek White is this. I love his release, and he's going to play solid defense. Those two things combined are the reason I like Derek White. Now, is he going to be the best Derek White we get this year? No. Once we get a really good Derek White this year, I think there's an Emerald actually hidden gem card. Once that card comes out, everybody will realize how truly good Derek White is. The card's an absolute beast. He's going to knock down shots. He's going to play good defense. And he's got one of the quickest, one of the best releases in the game. Now, you could plug in, I think Bimbo Coles is decent at the point guard position. But D White, for his price, really did catch my eye today as a card that you guys could plug in to your specific squad. Next up, we've got the shooting guard position. It is Otto Porter at the backup too. 6'8". Let's start with that. 6'8", gonna shoot lights out, and he is super, super, super cheap. So those couple of things combined are going to help Otto Porter Jr. out in a big time way. To me, it comes down to the fact that you're running a 6'3" point guard, so you need some more height on the court, right? In our starting lineup, you got Sasha Vucevic there. He's obviously super long, super lengthy. You're not really lacking height there. D White is undersized, so now you got a 6'8" shooting guard and Otto Porter to plug in beside him. One thing about Otto Porter is offensively, he's not going to be much of a playmaker, and so that's something that you guys need to know with the card. He's not going to be much of a playmaker. He is going to knock down shots. He's going to play decent defense. Those couple of things are why he's here. But outside of that, Otto Porter doesn't give you a whole lot. He's not going to make a ton of plays. He's not going to dunk the ball super well. He's going to knock down shots, play solid enough defense because he's 6'8". I wouldn't put him on ball. It's not like his on-ball defense stats are ridiculous. But his size, his frame is going to be enough for me to hype the card up a decent amount, putting him at that backup 2 guard. Backup small forward position. Next up, we've got Harrison Barnes. A card that I still think is underrated. Good speed, good 3-ball. And to me, he's a better Jarvis Hayes, right? You want a 3-and-D type player. No, Harrison Barnes' defensive badges aren't great. But he's got solid 3-ball, solid release, and his speed is decent as well. And again, this is the budget of the budget teams. You're not looking at this team thinking, this is a team that is going to go out there and beat the Pink Diamonds. No, this is your budget of budget teams. Again, even if you can pick up a couple of these cards that can help your squad out, I would do so, beginner level squad. But for me, HB is a card that is so easy for the beginners to use. Why? Because his release is so good. You don't have to be good to use Harrison Barnes. He's going to knock down shots. His release is really, really easy to time. It's really easy to green. And I just don't see how people can't like Harrison Barnes. No, playmaking wise, he's not going to be elite. No, dunking the ball. It's not like he's going to, he can dunk, but it's not like he's going to, dunk on people consistently. He's a kind of spot up shooter offensively that can play a little defense. HB, really, really, really solid. At my power forward position, here's where things get really dicey. My backup front court. I don't know who I'm supposed to plug in here. I'm going to plug in Larry Nance Jr. though, the backup power forward position. Decent speed, 75 3-ball, 6'10". What you tell me, guys. What is there not to like about Larry Nance Jr.? That's what I want to know, because when I'm looking at the cards, I'm looking at, who do I want to put up here with this card? And I genuinely think that Larry Nance Jr. is deserving of being in this squad. No, I don't think he's perfect. No, I think there are some flaws with the card. But when I'm looking at him, he's 6'8". He can shoot the rock. He can play decent defense. And I just think he's the perfect power forward for really budget guards. Now, do I like Pervis Ellison more? Yes. It's not even close. It's a night and day difference. And obviously, if you want to spend up, Sharif's going to be better than Larry Nance Jr. as well. But again, this is the cheapest of the cheap squads. And Larry Nance Jr. is a card that you can plug into your squad and he can be okay. Not going to be the best player in the world, but he is going to be okay. And I don't want you guys to troll me with my backup center because I'm serious when I talk about this guy. Desanya Ja. Now, here's what I want to talk about with this card. He's got 12 gold badges. He's got good speed. He's got great interior, great block. To me, he's literally nearly just as good as Strowman Swift. And he's a gold card. Don't ask me why they made Desanya Diop so good. Or Desanya Diop so good. But this card is really, really good. I told you guys when this card came out that he was really good. I said it in my breakdown videos. And I hold true to that. Now, am I gassing him by putting him in this budget squad builder? Maybe. I might be. But at the end of the day, he's a card that I think you can trust to go out on the court and play decent defense, get you that occasional stop. And guess what? Offensively, if he catches the ball on a slip, on a roll, he's going to dunk the basketball. Outside of that, offensively, Jop's not going to give you anything. But to me, he is deserving of this card. So this is my budget squad that I'm building basically for, I don't know, 25, 30, 40, 50,000 coins. But I want to showcase this card specifically. 7 feet tall, 76 speed, solid interior, solid block, good rebounder, badge-wise perfect. You're telling me this card is not a good budget center? When we're talking about super budget cards, I think he's a great budget center to talk about for you guys. So that's going to wrap it up for my video. Let me know your thoughts on my squad down below in the comments. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.